I'm Ashley Brown, 21, born and raised in Millbrook, Southampton. I went to Redbridge School, also in Millbrook. Went to college at City College in Southampton. And then from there I am now a coach, boxing coach at Pound for Pound, as well as a professional PT, personal trainer with my own business. I started when I was younger, about 14 to 16. This was at Golden Ring down in Millbrook. Briefly, I did a few months of some serious training. I got carded with them, went to go and box, and then got a serious injury on my left shoulder. Tore some of the tendons, and it basically just threw me out for ages. With college and everything else, moving on to, because this was when I was at school, so moving on to college and everything else, and with all the new stresses and trying to fit in this, that and the other, I ended up losing boxing for a couple of years. I barely boxed at all throughout college, until, well, going down to the gym with Steve.
What was Ashley like as a kid?
He was quite quiet. To me, he was quite quiet. He was always on the carpet of his cars and funny lad. He was quite funny. He wasn't that confident when he was little. I found him quite like on his own, and he was quite afraid of meeting new people.
Can you still remember the night when he was born? The whole week and everything?
Oh my God, yes. Oh God, this is a story. Yeah, so basically went to Tesco's in Millbrook and Jabora Way. I had actually a week early, so literally I had a week to go. I was getting twinges all day, but we still went to Tesco's. And then we were just walking around with the trolley with, at the time, Ashley's dad and my watersman in Tesco's.
Wow.
The waters went in Tesco's, yes, so literally I just stood there and I was panicking a bit. I was just like, oh my God, not here, please. And yeah, went got a first aider. He was quite a young person, so he didn't know what to do. So he thought, sit me in a wheelchair is going to help me. Obviously, I'm going to have a baby.
So, from a young age, has he always been into sports?
Yes, yeah, especially football. I mean, at the beginning it was just football. He was in teams and stuff. Good player, yeah, really good player. Really proud of him. And then obviously went on to better sports, and obviously don't really like boxing. I've not watched him fight yet. So yeah, I mean, not really happy with him boxing, but at the end of the day I can't stop him from boxing, and that's the way he wants to go, then that's fine. So
me and Ashley, our childhood was absolutely brilliant. It was tough, but most of the time it was absolutely incredible. It was great. I have many good memories with Ashley, loads which are thankfully really, really good and really, really nice. So we had a brilliant childhood together, brilliant. Me and him and my eldest brother, we went to karate at our local primary school, literally just down the road. And we did that, and that was pretty good. And then Ashley lost interest in it, I lost interest in it, and we just ventured off, well, he ventured off doing something else. And then as he grew up a little bit, he found the Golden Ring, which was a place where they do boxing and they teach you how to condition yourself. And it just takes you out of that and it puts you into a boxing mindset. It just takes you out. So if you are angry or if you do, you know, want to punch out or if you want to relieve stress or anything like that, it was there. And for Ashley, secondary school was quite tough for him. And he went to the Golden Ring and he did the boxing there. And I can honestly say that was his release. He did get bullied, and it was quite bad to see. But you know, he's the sort of person that ignores it. He ignores it and he carries on with it, and I respect him for that because I don't know how in the hell he could do that. No one should be bullied at all because of what they look like, for what they do, for their passion, hobbies, anything. No one should be bullied. You know, it's not right. It's terrible. It affects people mentally. It affects Ashley mentally quite well. It affected him to the point where he didn't want to go into school, and it's the same in primary school as well. He got bullied through primary school. He didn't want to go in. He still went in. He still got bullied, and the school wouldn't do anything about it, as expected, because the schools we went to didn't really do much about it. He's gone through some of the worst times possible, but he's come out of that even stronger. And pound for pound Palace, and ever since him being there, I've been there whilst he's working. He loves it. He loves helping people. He loves teaching people different methods of fitness training and conditioning. He's a fantastic fitness coach. He loves it. And I can see it in his eyes. And I can see that he's truly passionate about it.
I decided to become a personal trainer, again, and this is where Steve's a massive inspiration. It's meeting Steve, seeing what he did down at the gym. He was a personal trainer himself. He was also a boxing coach. He was everything I wanted to strive to become, to help other people learn and be the better versions of themselves. And that was my main inspiration for becoming a personal trainer, is I just wanted to help people. I've never been money motivated. I've never been one. I've never been a greedy person. It's more for the involvement of others and helping them progress and just be better in themselves. This journey started with my apprenticeship here. I did an apprenticeship for a year and a half. Half of a year doing my level 2, which was fitness coach and fitness instructor, and then the other year was for my level 3 personal training course, which led me to become the personal trainer that I am today, fully qualified. I now have my own business, which is Iron Fist Fitness. It's my personal training business, which I also do some box on the side in as well. So it all came from apprenticeship here, under Steve, working for Steve.
Yeah, so I met Ashley when I took a year to teach. I've taught at colleges before, but I was teaching exercise physiology and anatomy physiology. I started teaching. It was a new experience, and Ashley was one of the pupils there. And I'd say Ashley, I did have a good connection with him. From the off, really. Like, he was always very engaged in what I was saying, engaged in some of my stories, or even how I've gone about it in the fitness industry. So no, I could tell that, like, this lad definitely listens to me, and he produces good work. He's got a good academic ability, but also very personable as well. So I got on well with Ashley at college, and obviously the nice thing is I must have made a good enough impression on him for him to then seek me later on to look at any job opportunities.
As a boxing coach, I generally think the hardest thing to try and grasp is not being able to relate. It's one of the reasons I wanted to have my first boxing fight. I couldn't relate to the fighter. I could teach them, I could train them, I could make them the best they could possibly be to my standards of what I could push them to, and still not be able to relate to what it's going to be like getting in the ring, or how you're going to feel, or are you going to be jitters, are you going to be nervous. I had no idea. I couldn't relate to it at all, and it was a big knock-off point, and sometimes it even drove people away from wanting to learn from me because I just hadn't been there. As far as some people, and it's harsh, but it's true, and so, as far as some people are concerned, if you haven't done it, then what can you teach me, basically, is some people's attitude with it. You could be as smart as you want, but if they don't believe that you can teach them because you haven't done it or you haven't experienced it, then they're going to pick someone like Steve, who has done it, over me.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. Please welcome into the ring, Ashley
The crowd. Walking into that ring with that crowd of 500 odd people was insane. It was overwhelming. A lot of them, because it was a home event, a lot of them were on my side, they were cheering my name. It was exhilarating. Like, it wasn't a bad feeling at all. Like, it was overwhelming though. Like, to have that many people there to support you is, you just want to give them a good show, do you know what I mean? And that was how it ended up being. I just wanted to get in there and put in a show for him and really, really obliterate this guy. So that's what I was focusing on that first round. But what I ended up doing and what I shouldn't have done, and this is where I made my biggest mistake in that first round, was I did too much. I was throwing shots when I didn't even need to throw shots. I mean, I threw shots, I hurt him with an uppercut and a hook, and then he put his guard up. As soon as he put his guard up, the shots I threw afterwards didn't make a difference. They were just hitting his gloves. So I'm not getting points for them, I'm wasting energy, and it's just come out to nothing. So I really, in that first round, you'll see it a lot. I catch him a lot with that uppercut, but it doesn't make a difference because afterwards I'm throwing all these shots and I'm tiring myself out. He's just staying there, holding on as much as he can.
When he was in the boxing ring as well, he looked pumped, looked focused. The other lad did look stronger, taller, to be honest. And Ashley did the perfect thing in the first round. He was on the back foot. This other lad was coming towards him, driving the fight. Ashley was boxing very smart, put some lovely uppercuts and hooks together, was turning off the ropes. And you know, I said, now that's a boxer in the ring, you know, someone who is actually outboxing and outmaneuvering the other person. So it was really good to see that. And I was hopeful, you know, I thought it was a great first round. I was shouting as much as I could. There was something about that environment that just soaks up the sound. You know, it didn't matter how loud I was shouting, it felt like I couldn't hear me properly, but he did a fantastic first round. When they went to the corners, I know what it feels like, and the energy drain of that first round, and then the thought of doing two more like it as well. But you'll be amazed what your body can do if your mindset's right, okay? So he went back to his corner, they spoke to him, he came back out, and I think through Ashley's tiredness, he then decided to push the fight himself. And where they went at it, the problem there was he then had this huge energy dump.
I was drained already. By that point, I knew I'd screwed up. I really knew I'd screwed up. I went into that corner, I turned around to my coaches, Scott and Gratian, and I said, I've done too much. I've done way too much. I've used too much energy. Like, help me out. What's the plan from here? What's the game plan? I need a game plan. And the advice back, especially for Gratian, was go down to the body, stop aiming for the head, because the main thing he did, Alex, or not taking anything away from him, because he fought brilliantly. It just garbers up it, leaving himself very, very open at the body. And although I was realising it, I wasn't hitting it. So in that second round, it was more about just focus on that body. And I did. We started the second round straight in for the body. Lots and lots of good shots into the ribs, into the centre, into the solar plex. Just picking those shots out, rolling under and rolling and hitting those shots into the body at the same time. Because of the first round, I could not keep that up. I couldn't.
I just told him to just step back, you know. You don't have to keep the pressure because you will gas out. But sometimes, I remember when I fought first times, and you just don't know what you have to do, you know. It's too much stress. I can tell him what he need to do, but he will forget because he's in stress, you know. So I knew that he's too tired, too stressed to listen my advice. I know lots of people which they very good, they have good skills, good techniques, but fighting experience is a different thing, you know. More you fighting, more you learn how to save your energy, you know, how to be calm, you know, how to control the fight, you know. And he lost the fight because he hasn't got that experience yet. For me, he's much better than his opponent, but like I said, experience. His opponent had more experience, you know, so he knew that, you know, he survived after 2 rounds because Ashley was overboxing for the first 2 rounds, but on the third round, you know, he just got out, you know, and his opponent knew that, his coaches knew that, and just told them, listen, you have to just go put pressure because Ashley was tired, you know. So yeah, but I was proud of him anyway, you know. He showed me that he's a real warrior.
Gets into the corner after that second round and I'm leaning on the ropes. I'm trying to breathe, I'm gasping. I am yelling at my coach, get this gum shield out of my mouth because I cannot breathe. I can't breathe, like get it out of my mouth. And then he's trying to give me water, I'm like, now I'm choking on water, and I'm like, no, go away, leave me alone. I don't need that right now. I mean, I know you're trying to keep me hydrated, but at the moment it's not even going down. You're just drowning me with water. I'm just trying to breathe. Just let me breathe. And that third round, I went into survival mode. I did everything I could to stay away from him. The whole time, he was not giving me a second to breathe. He had so much energy and he showed it. And he snapped my head back and to the side, and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm trying to lift my hands, I can't, they're down by my side, I'm so tired. The ref's like, protect yourself, and that's all I keep hearing. Every time he said it, hands went boom, straight up like this. But straight after, because I'm straight back down again, straight away. And I'm trying to move my head, and I'm still getting caught every now and then, because I'm not moving quick enough, because I'm just tired. And then at the end, it literally becomes a toe-to-toe battle. We're both just swinging at each other. I'm rolling under and hitting him in the stomach, and then coming back up with the uppercut to the head again. He's just throwing straight towards the head. He's swinging, I'm swinging. And it literally ends at a standstill where we're both just there. And the ref the ref caught me towards the end there because I was just so tired. I had nothing left. Yeah, I used one thing I can say is I walked away doing everything I possibly could in that fight. I left with no regret other than not sticking to the strategy.
Obviously, you didn't go to see the fight, his first fight.
No. I watched it, but I watched it after he had the fight, and I cried my eyes out.
Okay, did he call you on FaceTime after the fight?
After the fight, yeah. And
what was your reaction to his face?
Because I saw his face and I was like, oh my God. Cried because his eye was like, obviously, yeah, I didn't like it. And then obviously I watched it and cried again. I was like, that's my baby, that's one of my babies. Someone's hurting him. I can't do this.
2nd of April. Yes.
Know who is going to be, or they just give the date first, then later the opponent.
Later's the opponent. Yeah, so I won't know probably until I would say January, February, April, Feb, maybe, I would say, probably. But I think I'm looking at maybe being around 75 kilo this time. Big difference. That 5 kg difference make all the difference in those punches. I definitely feel a bit more comfortable. It's a more of a natural weight for me anyway. So I think moving around at 75 would be quite good for me. We'll see. If it doesn't, I'll go back down. But I don't know until I've tried it. And we'll see. I think it'll work out quite nicely. I think it'd be a nice way to go about it. But you know, because I'm quite a naturally not big guy, but broad-shouldered. I can pack a bit of size on if I wanted to, and I think So we'll see how it goes. Definitely, 100%. But I'm looking forward to it. 2nd of April. Yeah, baby. Bring it on. Who's next?